Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review, where tonight it is Fan Forum, where we get the rabble on and discuss everything regarding Newcastle United, which there is plenty to discuss today, of course. But I would like to start just with the video I did earlier on today. We've had a big response to obviously mentioning about John Tudor and the illness that he's going through at the moment. His son obviously put a GoFundMe page on to try and raise some money for his treatment. We are going to do a proper sort of, I guess a proper sort of show when I'll put the link on and see what we can do to raise some more money. I have reached out to his son, Jonathan, to see if he'd like to come onto the show and just have 5-10 minutes just explaining what the situation is with John, etc., etc. So hopefully, obviously he's in America, so I don't know whether he's received the email yet or read the email yet or not, but hopefully he will, and maybe we can get something sorted sooner rather than later, and get John on the show and Jonathan on the show and explain a bit about what's going on with John. But a lot of people have already donated, so it's really good. But we'll put the link on probably Thursday night show when we do the preview and see if we can get people going across onto the GoFundMe page. But hopefully John will have contacted us by then, and Jonathan will contact us by then and see what happens.
Superb player, Paul.
Yeah, I was obviously I'm too young to remember him, but there is a lot of fans who've already spoken very, very highly about him, and the combination that he had with Malcolm MacDonald was apparently very special. So
he was also part of the side that got Coventry promoted for the first time to the old first division.
Of course he was. So, yeah, he played for Coventry, didn't he?
He started here, yeah. So he was well loved around the Coventry area too.
Absolutely, it's a real shame, but unfortunately, this is life, and it affects everyone in very different ways, and we can only wish John the very, very best in his health. And as I say, he's looking to raise $20,000 for care for John, which is a lot of money. I think they've so far raised 2,000. So we'll get the link. We'll pop it on Thursday. We'll keep putting the link on. But I'd like to get Jonathan on to have a chat with everybody and just explain what's going on. Anyway, let's go a few comments before we get the rabble into the studio. By the way, Billy, the new background, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I love it, mate. I think it's absolutely splendid.
It's not finished yet. It's not finished. This isn't the finished version. I just thought that I'd use the one I had just for the video today, and then obviously I thought, well, why not use it as a background on here for now? But
looks nice.
StreamYard is a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest, with green screens and stuff. So never mind. Barbara, who's she's in the waiting room, she's in the green room, Billy. So 15th time lucky, maybe Barbara might get a say on the show today. Chesray, good evening, buddy. Hi all. Remember to keep comments respectful. Please, no all caps or duplicate comments. Enjoy the show. Paul, I've seen your DM. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about, if I'm honest, mate. I'm not into all that crypto bollocks bullshit or whatever, the all this different currencies and that. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, mate, if I'm honest. But thank you for sharing it with us. But I haven't got an absolute clue. Evening, Explore with Mark. John's back doors in the house. Very strange thing to see on a Tuesday night. Royce is wearing my Al Arabi shirt today. It's red. Sorry, I'll let you off because it's whatever. You look more like Santa Claus than anything else, to be honest. I can see you waiting there. Plus the fact I'm in a huff for you anyway for jumping channels without permission as well, Billy. Did you see that?
Moonlighting, mate.
Moonlighting on Sinclair's channel last night without prior permission from his current employers here. He's supposed to be our bloody Middle Eastern correspondent, and he goes and does that. I'll tell you what, it's bloody shocking. He wants to be ashamed of himself. And don't be typing in the private chat. I can see you, Caviani. I'm not going to listen to you. Good evening, Gary. Hope you're well, mate. Tom, Carl, Gary. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It's free. What's he put? I'm a YouTube whore. Yes, you are. It's a shocking state of affairs, but there you go. Pedro, good evening. Steve says, let's get in early while I'm still on my way back from the pub. Hit the like button. Sorry for the Caps mods. It's fine. I think I'll let you get away with that one. Up the A1, evening, Paul and Billy and mods and everyone in the chat. Trolls, good evening. David Smith, good evening to you. Thomas, good evening. Hope you're well. Look, Rachel's in the house, modding away there. Good evening. Julie is there as well. Gary says, Trolls, I thought I was, but terrible fatigue and blurred vision. Chest like a bag of spanners today. Well, Gary, keep recovering, matey. Keep recovering. Francisco says, evening, everyone. Hope you've all had a fine day. Looking forward to another great show. God knows what it's going to be like with what I can see in the green room, but we'll wait and we'll see how it goes. Spacebar, good evening. Spike says, evening, Toon Review family, which I could have a day off for doing a bad job. Yeah. Julie J, good evening. Evening, AFC lad. Dave Sanderson, Phil, Mark. Wow, there's a lot of people saying hello. Clarky, good evening. John, who made the background for me. Good evening, John. Who was working incredibly hard at putting these together for me. He's going to have a watch-along one and a recording one, so it's going to be very exciting to see the finished product, but I love it already. I mean, the fact that, we've got Isak and the managers, and he's also putting a photo frame, Billy, which will be a nice touch. I don't know whether you saw my video earlier on today. The FA Cup was there, but that's been removed, and it's going to be replaced by a framed photo of Dave Harrison.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's going to look awesome.
Fantastic gesture.
As well as the brilliant managers, the King of Northumberland's going to be there as well, which is awesome. Stephen, good evening. Basil Brush is in the house. Good evening. I actually met her on Saturday at the game. I didn't believe she was real until she came and said hello, and she is real.
What did she say to you? Hello, my name's Basil Brush.
Well, she says, I'm Basil Brush on your YouTube chat. That's obviously not a real name, Billy. She doesn't go by Basil Brush. Francisco says, everyone else in the chat have a great one. Dan, good evening. Paul Tully says, evening, everyone and mods. John Tudor, what a player, by the way, and a cup winner for the club, which is rare to say. Indeed. Good evening, Paul and Billy from Belfast. I'd love to know what your real name is instead of calling you KB, but,
KB. It's KB.
From Belfast.
My data.
3,323 times. Anyway, moving on. Devin, good evening. Richie T's in the house. Spacebar says, my dad told me about John Tudor and Supermax partnership. Then watched some videos of him. He was 110%. Paul says, good evening, Paul, Billy, and all in the chat. Hopefully, good program tonight. I've heard a whisper. The Sweet FA have asked Stevie Wonder to do VAR this weekend between the Toon and the Hammers. Well, unfortunately, Stevie Wonder rang back and said that he just called to say I love them, but he won't be doing it. See what I did there, Billy? See what I did? Yep.
Very superstitious.
Yeah. Great new studio, by the way, Paul. Just need to add some trophies to that shelf behind you. Maybe the designer could add some of our past league. Look, we spoke about this with John, and I said not to put any trophies in. We will add them as we start winning them again. Not past. We're looking to the future now, and that's how it's going to be. So, it'll be future trophies. That's how it will be. Even though big hello from all the many mags in Oxfordshire. I'm starting to see more of you in Toon shirts out and about. Wow. Sorry to hear about John Tudor. Saw him play a few times. What a great football and a great fella in general. I'm sure we can reach out to the football club. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm doing things behind the scenes. I'm trying to get things involved. I did do a nice gesture today, Billy. A lad on Facebook, Luke Riley, put out that he wanted tickets for the Brentford game. For him and his little lad. His little lad's never been to a football game, and the only game he could get to would be Brentford, because they live in Workington. But I think it's something to do with the job as well. And he couldn't get tickets. And his little lad's never been to St James's Park, so I'd purchased a pair this morning, an adult and junior, to give away on the show. But I've decided to give it to Luke and his son.
Fantastic!
So Luke's going to experience St James's Park for the first time. Against Brentford, and I'm sure the viewers will understand that. It's one of those things that cropped up, and I thought I'd step in and do something good. So
get ready for the deluge of begging letters again, though. You get ready for them. There'll be loads of them.
Yeah, look, it wasn't even a begging that he just put on the Facebook group that he's gutted because there was no tickets left. And I thought, you know what? You don't get much of a chance to send a little lad to St James's Park for the first time, do you?
No.
You know what
fantastic.
I mean?
Fantastic gesture.
Yeah, exactly. If we get another shit decision from VAR against West Ham, I'm going to lose my cool, to put it mildly. Charles, I would never imagine you losing your shit, mate. But hey ho, how times have changed. Steve says all you need to know about crypto. No, I'm not even reading it. I don't want to know. I don't want to get into that.
But what he's saying is basically it's bollocks. Okay,
thanks, Billy. My dad told me about John Tudor as he watched him and the partnership with Supermax. So I watched videos of him, and it's obviously gave 100% every game. Let's hope they get to the target. It'll be nice. I don't think a lot of Newcastle fans are aware of it, to be honest. So
no, but the thing is, this is it's something that's happened to a lot of ex-professional footballers. I mean, the late John Astle
did that documentary, didn't he, Billy? If you remember
that's right. The late John Astle, of course, who played for England and won the FA Cup for West Bromwich Albion, and used to be on fantasy football, strange enough, with Frank and David Baddiel, another one who passed because of it. So it's not uncommon, and I think the professional PFA should be getting involved, more and doing more about it. If I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah. I mean, we had a stupid comment in the underneath the video today, just saying that somebody was commenting saying, man up. I mean, Christ almighty, there's sick people out there. But he got a swift block. So there you go. Angelica says, hello, everyone. Just saying hi. I can't stay. Got to be up at 3:45 a.m. for work, but I will listen to this at work when I'm awake. Have a great show. Well, it will be going on Spotify and iTunes straight after the show. Round about, half an hour to an hour it takes to upload everything to all the podcast sites. So it will be there if you want to listen to it in your car, at the gym, while you're pumping iron, or, you're just walking the hound, or you're offshore like Paul Sales tends to do a lot with his dodgy dealings. You can also do it that way. But let's bring in some rabble, Billy, shall we?
Yeah, let's.
We got Chippers. We got the King of Qatar. We have got the, him. We've got Jack. Barbara, God help us, Annie, Spencer, and Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy boy.
My camera.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, Jimmy. That's the main thing. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. Before we go any further, Barbara,
Hello.
are you there?
Well, I'm here.
Hey!
It's working.
Would you believe it? Round of applause for Barbara, ladies and gentlemen. It's only took her about 60,000 times to try and get it sorted. And she's got a canny background going on there with her.
You Mike, let me fancy Mike. Woo.
Well, don't face it to me. It needs to face your mouth, Barbara. Otherwise, I can't hear you.
I've been
Anyway, let's begin, shall we? Roy, thank you for moonlighting. I saw you over there on Sinclair's channel last night, without prior permission from your actual proper channel, being our Middle Eastern correspondent. I then see you talking VAR with Sinclair. I was baffled by that.
I seen him too.
Yeah.
I've actually refereed the game. It was they were testing the VAR in one of the World Cup stadiums, so they used me for that game.
Right,
so
but that's not an excuse of what you were doing on Sinclair's channel, though, is it? Really?
Sharing my expertise.
Yeah, I bet it is. Anyway, Chippers, we'll look back to the game. We'll touch on the game basically at the weekend, obviously. The 0-0 against Palace. Obviously, very, very frustrating game of football, wasn't it? We huffed and puffed. The VAR incident, obviously, that was the main talking point from the game. But, aside from that, we didn't take our chances again.
Yeah, you don't take your chances. You don't win games, do you? It's as simple as that. But I'm not going to fault the players because we did everything but score. I think the Palace keeper was man of the match at the end, which tells you everything you need to know about how many chances were created. But it's remarkable how every week now we're not talking about how good the players were, how bad they were. We're talking about how bad and how shite the officials and VAR is, and it's quite refreshing, to be honest. For the past 2 years, we've been slagging how bad we've been and how crap we've been, and for a change, we don't need to have a go at that. We can just say this, and it's quite clear what the problem is. And I said the date myself. I said, listen, I don't see why VAR and that why they don't officials for VAR instead of giving them the ref's job when they retire. So when the refs retire, get them out the door, get all the old ideas gone, and get some younger, fresher ideas in and younger people in who can do the job, because these frankly can't. It's as simple as that. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't I just can't make me word. I can't get my words out. It's that annoying. It is. I'm still annoyed with the one 4 or 5 weeks ago. Never mind the one that happened last Saturday. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just a piss take. Frankly, that's all it is. But again, we had enough chances prior to that to score. But at the end of the day, the players are trying, and I'm not going to kick off of for that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we had 3 games in 6 days. I mean, the energy levels were gone by the second half. I think it was very difficult for them. I'm not sure who this was, but it says my name has changed to John Joe Shelby's conditioner. I don't think he needs it. All I think he needs is a bit of shoe polish, and he's good to go. Hey lads, great show as usual. John says, I hope everyone is okay from Geordie living in Berkshire. Well, according to somebody on underneath my video today, if you don't live in Newcastle, you're not a Newcastle fan. So, Billy, Roy, everybody else, who doesn't live near Newcastle, you aren't Newcastle fans about it. Absolute tosh. John Tudor, before my time, but I heard his name when I was a kid. Sorry to hear he's unwell. Yeah, I think unwell is an understatement. I think they're looking to sort of. You need round the clock.
I live on a ship, and I'm a supporter.
Well, yeah, I know you were offshore a lot of the times, Mr. Sales. So that's a lovely gesture, says Julie. Thank you, Spacebar. Rachel, thank you. Danielle, evening all. Have a great show. Danielle, big love to Danielle. It was our cousin's funeral today.
Hi, Danielle.
So, she's had a difficult day, but got through it like the trooper she is. And she's always got us as our family around her to help her whenever she needs it. So she's there. Tom, thank you very much. I did see the post and the gesture. Fantastic, says Gary. Thank you, mate. Thanks, John. Thanks, Dave. Great gesture for little Luke Paul. You're a diamond. Thank you very much. Look, you see something like that, and you remember back to when you were a kid, and sometimes when you couldn't go to the football or whatever, and you'd never been to the football. That first experience, everybody remembers Bobby Robson's quote about the first time that you walk up those steps as a kid and you see St James's Park. I just wanted to reach out to him and do something from the channel for him. So. We weren't going to give them away again like we do with most match day tickets, but this is a one-off. Like Billy said, people can come at you from all angles asking for tickets, but this was literally a one-off because, a little lad wants to go to St James's Park for the first time, and I won't always have tickets to give away. That's the thing. But I did this time, and I was able to do it this time around. So, I just hope that, the meeting is at the ground before the game to get the tickets anyway. So really looking forward to meeting them and hope they have a blinding day. Michael, hi. Paul, Billy, hope you're both well. Really looking forward to the show. Really struggling. I know you, mate. I'll drop you a text after the show, bud. Hang in there. Thanks, Matt. Pizza, did anyone see Dermot Gallagher's pathetic excuse for the referee not seeing the push on Willock?
God.
Absolute bullshit. Jimmy, I'll take it you might have a bit to say on that.
I'm over it.
No, you're
action,
not. I can tell in your voice you're not over it, Jimmy. Give it some big ones.
All right, they're a fucking disgrace. That's what they are. That's what you are. Oh, by the way, hello everyone.
Hi.
King of Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Salam, my brother.
Hey, where I live in Atlanta, we got a lot of Muslims there.
Anyway, I don't care about that, Jimmy. What do you think about the game?
I was being cordial, you son of a bitch. You wait. Now, now that you got me all worked up after I tried to send you some tasty recipes.
Hey, you did, and I've been and bought some. Jimmy, I've bought the chicken legs, my son. They are going to be used.
Oh,
that
yeah,
recipe will be used.
I got a nice steak one next, so
yes.
Boys, watch out. But yeah, I like I say, you can't fault the boys out there. I mean, they did everything to win that game, and the refs did everything to screw us over. And I'm tired of these excuses. Different bodies are going to look into the problem. You tell me when the last time any investigation in England came out with a decent outcome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They're still fucking up. They're still fucking up Hillsborough.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're right.
George T, thank you for your £5 super chat. George is the guy that sits in front of me and has to put up with me screaming expletives in his ear every single home game. Feeling old now. I must be the only person here that actually saw John Tudor play. A great combo with Super Mac. Well, excuse me. Billy Bob Coleman certainly remembers him. I'm sure Roy remembers him.
Wait, remember him?
Barbara remembers him. Paul's not.
Ian McFall was a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
he was. That's right.
Listen, I've seen plenty of videos of him, and I have to, he's outstanding. Steve Mallam, thank you for your $17.99 super chat. He says, please consider this as a contribution to Luke's son's ticket. Oh, thank you very much, Steve. Really kind of you, mate. Christopher says, lots of black and white shirts in Benidorm. I think Newcastle United are popular in Spain. Tudor and McDonald were the players I watched in my first visit to St. James's. Always good memories. I like coffee. Good evening. Mary says, evening, folks. Hope everybody's well. Jules is obviously reaching out to Michael as well. Michael, I will contact you because I've got something to ask you anyway at the end of the show, mate. So I will contact you tonight.
Talking to Tudor and McDonald. You're talking to Tudor and McDonald. You look at.
I thought you said talking about food at McDonald's there. I thought, well, where are we going with this?
No.
Yeah, we got against it with food.
Tudor McDonald, mate. I tell you what, you're looking at Cole Beardsley, Shearer Ferdinand, as Shearer Bellamy's great partnerships. Tudor McDonald are right up there with them. They were superb together.
Absolutely.
They were superb together.
Yeah, I've said, like I say, I've watched a lot of videos on them because my granddad and my dad always used to talk about Tudor as well as obviously Malcolm himself. It's just such a shame because I mean those footballs were totally different to these days, aren't they? I mean they were like them big medicine balls, weren't they? They used to get in the gym and just awful.
Especially if it was wet. If it was wet.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Put an extra 10-stone weight on them. Barbara, everyone's applauding you for managing to get your microphone sorted tonight. So well done on that.
At long last.
Yeah, it bloody is. Jack, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine, thanks.
So you're back at your normal station?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. What did you think of Saturday then?
Frustrating to watch. Frustrating to watch. I'm not saying we played poorly, and but we did. You can see it in the players' faces and everything like that. We just couldn't score, and we just couldn't get that ball in the back of the net, which was so frustrating because the movement we were doing, the amount of shots we were having on goal, and the amount of corners we were having, we were dominating that game like no tomorrow. And it's just a shame that the VAR had to screw us over. But I'm not entirely blaming VAR. Yes, it was an absolutely shocking decision and should have been a goal. But if you look at if it was last second of the match and that was the decider, yeah, I'd be more fuming. But if you look at the amount of chances we had after the VAR disallowed goal, you got to think how we're not putting them away. But props to their goalkeeper because he was outstanding. But you just got to think, other than the VAR decision, we had so many chances to score, but we just couldn't at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, indeed. Dave Smith says, who's the plank who said we're not Geordies? Born and bred in the West End, so politely take your face for a shit. Indeed. Well said. Well, he did because I blocked him because he started getting really abusive. I politely just asked him what the hell he was talking about, and he started getting abusive. So he went, blocked off the channel. So that's what happens if you can't have a normal conversation. Spencer.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can. Where are you calling from tonight?
I'm calling from, I'm in New York City right now. That's where I live.
Do you know what? How many Yanks do we get on this channel? I mean, dear me. Actually,
yes.
My favorite city on earth, Spencer, I have to say, I've been there a few times, man. I absolutely love the place. 2 seconds, buddy. We've got a £5 super chat from the General. Thank you very much, matey. Contribution to a verbal diarrhea bag for Dermot Gallagher. Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, Spencer, as I say, my favorite city on earth. Love it. Love the New York Rangers. Love everything about New York. I could live there. I really could. I just love the place. What did you think of Saturday?
I mean, as far as everything Jack said, I pretty much agree with. But I'm honestly more positive about it because all the things we're complaining about, as far as the refs and all these things, they're all out of our control. And if we look at in a vacuum how we played, you can't be anything less than proud. So I feel like I'm proud of the team, even just looking back at the Liverpool game. Like we really just these last few games, we've kind of done everything we could. It's just the finishing. The finishing isn't there. We're not as clinical as we can be. Yeah, you can kind of look at these sort of kind of small criticisms, but you have to be like proud of the performances we've seen recently, especially looking back during the Bruce days when we'd be happy to have 40% possession instead of 25.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, we've had the general in the house. We've now got the boss, the gaffer. Good evening, Mrs. Toon Review. Susan.
Hello,
we've got a very busy 2 weeks because it looks like I'm moving house in 2 weeks. So we get our big house in 2 weeks' time, which we're looking forward to. I was born, raised, and live in Wrexham. Even have a season ticket for Wrexham, but I'm a massive Newcastle fan and have been since Keegan's Entertainers introduced me to the club. Tom says very true, Jimmy. Nothing will come of it. It's just lip service. I'm sure Jimmy has a lot of lip service out there in the States. Mary Porter's looking hot, Barbara. Premier League should fund and ensure all fans at games should be able to see big screens. Refs should also be mic'd up. I mean, Annie, talking from a guy that's never going to have his team in the Premier League.
Right. No, that's why I stop you. Look at the table with fourth. So that's closer than we've ever been, really. So. And
can I just say what I said last season? What club did I say I would like to see in the Premier League? I'll just mention that. Was Bristol City.
Was it Sunderland?
No. No, from a fan outside of the Premier League, Annie, looking in, you see these decisions at the weekend. What do you think about the referees being mic'd up? Should we be able to hear the conversation between the VAR referee and the on-pitch one?
Right. The focus has been on the Premier League and VAR, and that's brilliant. That's great. It's some horrendous decisions, and that is perfectly, something to be angry about.
Yeah.
But the quality of refs doesn't get much better as you go down the pyramid. It is shocking in the Championship, like horrendous. Huddersfield versus Blackpool. Huddersfield scored a goal, but the ball went over the line. The referee's watch didn't go off, so the goal wasn't counted. Now that's another technology issue.
Well, that happened, of course, Bournemouth got relegated on that because of what happened to Villa Park with that. But there was a few non-league fans, come on the channel and said, "Look, we haven't got VAR, we've just got dreadful referees." So it is a point. We made that point on the show that we did last night. Is how do we improve the referees? Because even from a young age, when the referee in the kids' games, they're getting abuse from the parents, and then they're chucking it in, thinking, "I don't need this shit."
Should be interviews.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't know we had Daryl Yanmat on the channel. Obviously talking about Spencer there with his Daryl Yanmat hair.
Orange top as well, yeah.
I was going to say Val Nistelrooy. I think he looks more like Val Nistelrooy.
Barbara, I think you need Specsavers as well. You got your mic sorted now. Get your eyesight sorted. I don't see. I certainly don't see. See, if there was a horse on camera, then I'd say Van Nistelrooy, but he looks now like Van Nistelrooy. Definitely Janmaat. Definitely.
I'll take it.
But not
like Marco van Basten as well. A bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hang on, he's going to go away with a complex. He will not get his head out the door. I look like the two, Jesus. Steve says it's hard for us fans, but can you imagine playing, giving your absolute all, then being shafted by the official? No, lads, all the way from Virginia. Keep up the canny crack. Is that Chris Murray by any chance? I think he lives in Virginia. Julie says, heard of John Tudor, such a legendary player. Played brilliantly with Super Mac. Radio Newcastle said tonight, 5 games without a win. Is this worrying form? Paul Sales, what do you reckon?
Better than 5 losses.
No, I'm not worried at all. All it'll take is for one goal to go in, and it'll just click. Everything will just fall in place. It's just the VAR. It's a disgrace, and what can you say? Shit.
Yeah, Barbara, the 9 points we lost would be top of the league.
That's the only way they can rectify this is give us back our points. You know, that's the only way they can do it. And I think we're going to need to score 3 goals in every match because they're going to disallow 2 of them. So one goal.
I don't think we'll get the points back. That would cause ructions. It's certainly not going to.
We played a match with the same teams.
Yeah, but you know, would they do that with the schedule being so tight in the first place?
Yeah, maybe not.
You know, it's difficult. It is difficult to sort out. But how about they just make the right frigging decisions in the first place?
Yeah, too late now.
We spoke about this last night. You know, clear and obvious should not take 5 minutes.
Yeah, true.
We should have been Liverpool too, like so.
Billy?
I mean, let's just think about it. Manchester United, in the past 3 games, they've won the last 3 games. They had Arsenal had a goal disallowed from, which was dubious at best. You had Scott McTominay thinking it was Michael Jordan playing basketball in the area with it the game before. And then you had the offside goal of Marcus Rashford, which was much more offside than Alexander Isak's was.
I mean, the McTominay push was so blatant. He knew he wasn't going to get the ball. The ball was rolling out. He deliberately put 2 hands on whoever it was back and pushed. No yellow card. Even the referee gave a foul for 2 deliberate hands on the back, yet no yellow card. It's disgraceful. Literally, referees, the standard needs to be a lot better. And like I said on the other one, referees for doing bad at their job, and especially that bad against us, for us against Crystal Palace, should be fired for it. It's ridiculous. Not just banned for 1 week. They should be fired and bring another person in who's actually willing to actually make this league better for officials, not just worse.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, Roy, you look at the refereeing situation, and they took Lee Mason out of any fixtures this weekend. But that's not a punishment for me. That's them pulling him away from getting any flack. You know, that's just protecting him. That's not a punishment.
Yeah. It's not going to happen for us.
Yeah, it's not a punishment. He'll be back the week after. The punishment is him sacked for good. That'll be a punishment.
We're the victims, and he's getting.
But that's his punishment. But we're not going to get our points back. So whatever happens, we're not going to get our.
It's not the first time he's been suspended from it either. It happened last year.
No,
you know,
every year, wasn't it?
One-off. Yeah, so you know, it's not a one-off. He's been crap at it for over a year now.
I think there should be a referee point system at the end of the season, and then a promotion and demotion. So,
I think there is, but they don't ever release it to the public, so we don't know what the markings. I think it should be public.
Yep.
Look, I genuinely think that we should be able to hear the conversation between the VAR referee and the on-pitch one. There is literally zero reason. What, Jimmy?
Exactly.
There's no reason. There's no reason we can't. They do it in cricket. They do it in I forget what in rugby. We can hear exactly what's being said. Now, why can't we say the same in football? It gets you thinking as to what they are discussing. Saying, oh, you know, is there a slight chance he was offside? Is there a slight chance there was a foul? To try and disallow these goals. And that's exactly what they're doing.
It'll be we'll just fuck Newcastle over.
Yeah. Basically. Look to the Manchester United one where Martinelli's goal was counted as foul. Even before looking at the foul, they were even looking at offside as well. So that just proves they're not just focused on the foul; they're doing everything they can to disallow it, even if that goes to the minimal details of counting the goal off. They will go to that level, and it's ridiculous how they should just focus on what the referee's called, not what they think.
Jibbers?
Yeah, I think as well, at the start of the season, every referee should just be on a 1-year contract, and if they make so many mistakes at the end of the season, they can just either renew their contract or say we'll get rid of you for now. Because I personally think they're all on stupid contracts where they can't afford to pay them off if they get rid of them. That's another thing as well. I just honestly, like I said before, the FA need to start recruiting people for VAR officials, and instead of like Mike Dean and Lee Mason who have retired, instead of putting them in that VAR box, they should be saying to them, yeah, as soon as you don't want to be a ref, you that door, and we'll get younger people to do VAR. Simple as that.
I mean, look, I mean, Dan says there, couldn't make up the refs as most of the players only know how to communicate through expletives. Yeah, I'm not talking about when they're discussing things with players. I'm talking about the discussion between the on-pitch referee and the VAR. And the players stand right back from that. So, and if there's expletives there, then, people should understand that goes on a football pitch. It's very different to rugby. Rugby players obviously do know how to respect the referee in a very different way to football. That is clear. Stu says the fact that we're not putting chances away, scoring from set pieces, is the main concern we have.
That
Jimmy,
free kick would have gone in. If
yeah.
It hit the wall.
Oh my.
So he was on target, so we didn't do too bad in set pieces, but that Trippier free kick would have gone in.
Right, I know that, Jack, but that's like saying if I went for a crap and didn't wipe my ass, I would still have skid marks. It makes no sense. That happens in football, for God's sake. But Spencer, it is a bit of a concern that we're not putting chances away.
Yeah, big concern. That's really what we would be. What I remember, there was a comment in one of the recent shows saying how many points we lost due to the draws and the VAR decisions. So I think that has to be something we're addressing, because if we're scoring goals and they're onside, there's nothing the refs can do to take that away from us. So that is outside of refereeing and all this other nonsense.
Indeed.
That is our biggest issue at the moment, I would say.
Absolutely.
Our lack of is just our toothlessness in front of the goal.
Michael Marsden, thank you for your £50 super chat, matey. That is incredible again gesture. The chairman of the Toon Review, there's no doubt. And then we've got Luke in the house. Paul, you're a legend. Thanks again for the amazing gesture. No problem, matey. You and Joshua have a fantastic day. I'll see you before the game, obviously, when I give you your tickets. But great to see you in the comments tonight as well. Beats is a 1 week punishment for Lee Mason sufficient enough? Jimmy, I'll let you give us your thoughts on that, because I'm sure you're going to speak your mind on that.
No.
Sounds
if you are going to, if you're going to give us suspension, then at least make it a month. I'm all for a month. Just get them out of mind, out of sight. For a while. But I mean, NFL, I like the way they do their officials. You screw up, they may admit it, and they get suspended for anywhere from 1 to 4 games, depending on the severity. I'm just convinced with the conversation going on with VAR and the officials it was like, before you tell you, look at this, let me know what the updated line on the game is. It's like there's a great documentary on right now on Netflix, just came out about the NBA official that was throwing games, the ones that allowed the Lakers to win their 3 in a row.
Well, and Billy, Billy, you mentioned this, didn't you? Because it's interesting to see how, if this goes on for much longer, you have to start questioning that.
Indeed, it's once or twice you start questioning bad luck, but this is like every week since the first week of the season. It's not a one-off. It's what you're looking at 4 times. It's happening 4 different weeks. And of course, we know the Premier League aren't au fait with our situation, really, and certainly the Big Six aren't. And who's pulling the strings there? So you got to ask the question.
Yeah,
I know it sounds like it's corruption theory-ish, but you wouldn't surprise when the slightest if it came out that it was that way, would it? Let's be perfectly honest.
Do you think a bit of corruption's going on, Barbara?
Why, possibly. I think that there was another suggestion I heard that if they take note of all the mistakes that's made over the year and tot up the amount of points that was lost, and at the end of the season, if it has influence on the people who had the wrong score against them, their points would be added on. So it's the same as to get them into the Champions League, and they were short 2 points that they would have had, except for the boo-boo. They give them 2 points to compensate for that.
Well, if we miss if we miss Europe by 2 points, then we're going to look back at that Palace game in more serious detail.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's it's your deal. Like they look back and they see, oh, we were the goal was taken off us to have 2 points from us. We give you them 2 points to get you back into the Champions League again. It has no bearing on the position. Then they just leave it be.
Spudley says Liverpool and Newcastle are getting looked into for that match. The FA put Sunday when it was Wednesday. Can't write it. Annie, I know, listen, there was ructions on both benches, to be honest. I mean, Newcastle coached through something at Liverpool, but then Liverpool went way over the top with their goal celebration. Now, you at Bristol City have a very animated manager, it's fair to say, in Mr. Pearson, who has already spoken out against the standard of refereeing. What were your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp? Because, that man, who, by the way, as many people said, could eat an apple through a letterbox, is looks like he's going to kill someone. And how far do you go before you start worrying that he's actually going to do something that he really will regret?
I remember you saying on I think it was the match review for the Liverpool game, Jurgen Klopp did look a slight touch more animated than he usually does. He's usually passionate. He's usually passionate on the touchline. He's very animated. He's that sort of character. Even when his team is about 20 points clear in the league, he'll go and have an argument with Frank Lampard on the touchline because that's the kind of guy he is. But that was a bit over the top from Klopp. It got a bit ugly in the end. It was just.
Well, the smile at the end, the smirking at the Newcastle bench when they scored. That I really wanted to rip his teeth out and shove them up his arse. It was disgraceful.
It's like he's possessed.
You need a diamond tip drill.
Well, no, that I need. Well, it wouldn't be a drill. It would have to be a
open a JCB.
Absolutely.
Like all these weird movements, like.
Yeah. Anyway, go on, Annie.
I get the criticism of what he did, and yes, but in sports, it just sometimes it just gets totally out of hand. It sometimes get blown out of proportion. I'm sure Klopp will look back at what he did that night and go, "Yeah, that was wrong. That was 100% wrong." And I think,
do you think he'd do that?
I think he'd do that. I think in the heat of the moment, or what he felt at that point, with Liverpool needing to win 100% to basically stay in the title race at that early point, it was a must win, and I think it was a bit of arrogance, 100%.
I just think it was.
It's not a great look. It's not a great look. It's not a great look on Liverpool or on Klopp. But just kind of what sometimes it happens. It's a rarity, but sometimes it's behaviour that's kind of inexcusable. Yeah.
I like coffee. Said, did Paul see what Amanda said about seeing the women's team in the Premier League on Tyneside's Live channel? Yeah, I did. It was a great interview from Eddie. And it's great to hear Amanda talking so positively, Billy, about the women's team and how she wants them in the Premier League and winning the Premier League.
She's got such a common touch, hasn't she? She talked to Eddie as if she'd known him for years. I mean, hats off to Eddie for getting that interview as well. I thought he did something superbly. But
he does have that effect on people when you meet him. He's just got that suave bald-headedness, and he comes up to you and says, in his deep Geordie voice, "Are you gonna do an interview?" And you just can't say no to the man. He's like opening that fridge and seeing a trifle staring at you, and you just can't resist it.
But it's just great to hear Amanda being so positive about the club, and she's obviously living life up on Tyneside and getting involved with all aspects of the club, whether it be the women's team, the youth teams, the training grounds, facilities. She's looking like she's really enjoying what she's doing. Yeah, I think it was a great positive interview.
Yep. Says if we get rid of VAR, we were in the same boat as the National League. We are all left with this shit refs. England are absolutely trouncing Luxembourg ladies. Who's talking? Is that Sales?
Shut up! No, that's me dog, man.
Talking dog.
What the hell's that purple thing?
What's his thumb? What's his thumb?
I think that looks like a diddler.
Wow.
That was a thumb. That was a thumb, thankfully.
Yeah.
What the hell are we? Are we looking at some kind of like?
No, I don't know.
Paul, will you just focus your camera on your face, mate? I mean, I'm whoo! Man, hell. Andy says, "Oi, oi, Royster, you sexy Persian."
Oh.
Is that? Do you know Andy Roberts?
Yeah, I know him. He's his dad is one of the Doha Mags as well.
All right,
And
okay.
he's part of the group.
Wacky says going to be an interesting game against my boys at the weekend. I think the dogged determination your side has shown, you might take all 3 points. Well, that's if VAR allow us to score some goals. I mean, Paul, do you want to just take your dog's mouth up or something? It seems to be saying offensive words to you. It's a very uncanny situation we're going on here. Shamrock says, I agree. I'm never confident going into any games. We will smash a team. What do you say? Samsonite says, look at the height we have in the team and how many corners we have. Absolutely astonishing that we're not putting 2 to 3 goals away just on corners every game. Jack, is that a worry for you, given that we seem to play the same sort of set pieces from corners all the time?
I mean, we got probably one of the Premier League's best deliveries of Kieran Trippier, of course. But I noticed that we do get a lot of corners at some games, or I don't know. I mean, Kieran Trippier nearly pulls his hamstring from doing a corner. He seems to have this new technique in him, but I don't think it really works. We don't seem to be aiming for the. I mean, we've got so much height in that box. We've got the likes of Dan Burns, Sven Botman, now Isak, 6'4". He's not small. We need to be aiming for them types of players. I mean, look at the one against Southampton. Came all across to Dan Burn, headed it across. I mean, we just got to look for these. We've got so much height in that box, and we're just not using it.
It's annoying. It's starting to get annoying. I mean, you've got like you said, you've got the height in there, but the corners never seem to aim for the height, and then it just peters out. We try this back post thing. Thank you, Annie's just informed us that Real Madrid have taken the lead at Parkhead.
2-0.
Palace.
It's 2-0
Sean
now.
Longstaff won the header.
No.
Sean Longstaff didn't win a header for Real Madrid, Jack. That's
No,
I'm
talking about the corner against Crystal Palace. I mean, we've got all them, and then out of nowhere, Sean Longstaff has a bullet header. I mean, I think we're just crossing it in and open, really. We're not really got any strategy in the corners, really. We're just crossing it in. Exactly. Something good.
We need Chris Wood.
Shut up, Jimmy. Honestly, Jimmy, I normally listen to you, but if you mention his name again, you're going to the penalty box. Charlie says there's a great piece on the West Ham YouTube channel about VAR called Corruption, Corruption, Corruption. The Premier League using VAR to keep the big six at the top. Look, I think it was mentioned on our show last night, Billy, wasn't it? I think it was mentioned in the comments that it'd be interesting to see if Newcastle's was the only incident over the weekend, if there would be a similar uproar across across England about VAR. But we've seen it with so many instances, over one weekend, Billy. The fans have to simply take notice.
Yeah, and it's took them a long time to do it. Let's be perfectly honest. It took a whole weekend of cock-ups from the VAR officials to get kind of involved with the same train we've been riding on for last. It's been longer than 12 months, but really, Brighton had one that's allowed for no reason. Aston Villa did. Leeds did. It's not. It's all teams that are potentially challenging for that top 6, top 8 role. Yeah, there's something not right about it, and about time all the other teams got involved in it because they've been very quiet previously when it was just being affected.
Yeah.
Well, they're all hypocrites. And here's the deal: you're crying corruption when you were a part of the same corruption that voted to change the rules when Newcastle had their takeover.
You
So you can't scream corruption all of a sudden when you're part of it. Just you got fucked, just like we have, and now you want us to join on your little fight. And I just say to hell with you, crooked bastards. I mean,
he's right. He's right. He's right about the sponsorship deal that they all signed up against. So yeah, he's bang on.
Yeah, and they drug this whole thing out.
Look, I think we know something's going on. I'm convinced now. I mean, I used to think, when people used to say, conspiracy theories against Newcastle and all this, and there's something going on against the club, and I used to just sort of brush it off and laugh at it. But now, you cannot think otherwise. I mean, it's there. It's blatant as well. It's not like it's just the odd occasion. It's every single game. And when you look at the decisions, I mean, Barbara, why wasn't the referee on the pitch shown that angle of Joe Willock being pushed?
That's very strange. That's very strange altogether. Just like, and then you have the other agents saying that it should have been a penalty.
Oh, listen, I mean,
crazy.
Dermot Gallagher's long gone. I mean, Spencer, what do you think? I mean, why did Lee Mason not show the pitch side referee that clear sign? Yeah.
I mean, I left a comment in one of your videos recently saying that I don't know if that's standard procedure or not, because I remember I watched this game and they on camera live, it showed the referee go into like that little VAR box thing, whatever it is, and they just watched this one angle like a few times on replay, and then they gave some decision that was wrong. And I think it's just like the referees are probably just thinking from their point of view, they're like, look, we have a good thing going here. They're paying us fucking like 6-7 figures a year to referee these games. They're like, what, we don't have to. We can half-ass our job, right? That's probably what they're thinking. They're like, we can half-ass our job. Who cares what the fans think about this? We don't care.
Well,
we're getting paid,
that's it.
So
it's at the end of the day, it's the fans who. I mean, Ian from Toon Trader, he said his. Totally agree.
It's also costing us money. It's also costing the club
absolutely
dollars because they're losing points, which in turn pushes them down the table, and they're losing out on that prize money. So it's a big chain reaction. They just don't care.
I mean, look, Ian from Toon Trader, who took his son Tommy there. He was in. I did an interview with them before the game on the vlog, but his little one wanted to go straight home after the game because he was that gutted and that annoyed that we hadn't won, and that's the kind of thing. Young kids are going to come in, Annie, and see these fans coming in. See this happening, and it'll put them off football.
Yeah, I mean, to be screwed over like that is just ridiculous.
It's not just screwed over like that, Annie. What I mean is they're coming to the games with the parents and for the first time or second time, and they're seeing when it, like for instance, a goal scored and then you celebrate, and then 2 minutes later you've got to turn around and tell them, oh no, that doesn't count. And that's the ridiculous thing, because the players don't know whether to celebrate, the fans don't know whether to celebrate, and it's just look at McAllister's goal for Brighton. Why the hell was that disallowed in God's earth? It's just ridiculous.
I think it's a time that's been taken over these VAR decisions, which is it just kills any sort of if you have a goal disallowed and it takes 2 minutes to check, and then you score another goal. What are you meant to do? Are you meant to celebrate? Are you like you're put in a weird position? Like you don't know, it might be disallowed.
Well, clear and obvious doesn't take 3, 4, 5 minutes, does it? It just doesn't.
Not by the rule book, it shouldn't. I mean, it's clear and obvious.
Exactly, it's in the
word.
There
you go.
It's in the
clues
word.
in the name. It's
ridiculous.
It's the rules itself are I think
pathetic.
I think incorrect in terms of what it's meant to do and how it's meant to be perceived by the referees. And I think the referees themselves are getting confused by what does this mean, like, or what? Because it's very unique in match situations. Like it's not what you learn when you're practicing to be a referee. It's very unique, and they probably are not making sense of the rule book as much as if with hindsight we'll probably take a deep dive into it and probably come out with the right decision. In the heat of the moment, they have only maybe a couple of minutes max, and they have to make a decision. Otherwise, it's a 50-50 call. Give the goal, not the goal, something like that. And it's really ludicrous. And to be fair, I think the referees need a tiny bit of help because yes, the VAR is there, but it seems like the rules itself are confusing the referees, and that's not where you want to start off with. You have a set of rules, and then you start with VAR, help the referees. You need the referees to be completely aligned with the rules, and I don't think that's happening throughout the pyramid.
I mean, Billy, when we were reading the rules out last night, I saw you chuckling away, thinking, well, and obviously Alex was writing a number of points down and going off it when I read it out. I mean, they are laughable because what the rule states and what they're doing on the pitch is are completely different things.
Yeah, and the difference between subjectivity and fact, you know, they don't seem to take any notice of that at all. I mean, they were saying things that were subjectivity that weren't, things that were factual that aren't. You know, it seems to be all mixed up, and it needs someone to come in, someone with an experienced head on the shoulders, refereeing wise, to to kind of go through it all properly with a fine tooth comb and get it idiot proof, because that's what's needed. Because these idiots aren't getting it right.
Ratchet, thank you very much for becoming a new member. Welcome to Members Club over there in India. Thank you very much. Hope you're well, Rashid. Paul Tully says, talking dog, WTF. Ryan's just put, yeah. Jackie says, Barney's knob.
It's all catching up now.
Yeah. Shamrock says, that's going to give me nightmares. Christopher says, purple dildo alert.
Hang on a second. Hang on. It's not a dildo. It's a kid's toy.
Right. It did not look like that when it came on the screen. It certainly was like that.
Was like that?
No, it really wasn't. It looked like you were pleased to see me.
It looked like this.
All right, Roy. Even Susan's put, if you didn't see a thumb, you're shocking. And I know for a fact Susan didn't see a thumb either. Wacky says, I don't think continental refs are the answer. They give cards for next to nothing. Well, I don't know. I think they're a lot better than we are at the minute. But, we discussed, Billy, last night, female referees. I mean, who's gone?
Jimmy.
There'd be more Alex anyway.
Oh, it's Jimmy. Oh, God, we'll bring him in. Evening, Archer. I think you're starting to get a little bit too attached to that hat, mate. You had it on for the game. But never mind. Beat says, Paul, your transfer window was as fruitful as the Toon. How you managed to complete the marquee signs of Stato and Billy quality show as always. Well, you know what it is. It's just I don't know. Billy, help me out here.
It's the magnetic pull you have, Paul. It's like going to play for it's like going to play for Real Madrid.
And I didn't have to raise me thumb to get him either. Mitchell says, Susan, it took a few seconds to realise it was his thumb. Was a bit concerned initially. See, Paul, you've got all the ladies sweating. And the fact that it was like a big purple throbbing thumb as well. I tell you. Paul Tully says Botman seems to have suddenly got more chances against Palace, which is a great sign going forward. What have you made of Botman, Archer?
Quality player. I'm glad that we got him. His performance he's been playing really well last couple of games, and especially Crystal Palace as well.
Yeah. Chippers, is he someone you think can be the centre of our defence for many years?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've kept 3 clean sheets in 6 games, which tells everything you need to know that he's come in and shredded up again at the back. And just the way he's distribution with the ball as well. I mean, he balls out from defence, just literally can take a midfield and an opposition strike force out of it, and then you've got us attacking, and he's just got the full package for someone who was 30 odd minutes.
Incredible as well.
Yeah, it's frightening to think that we've got that centre half. It's remarkable.
Stephen says King of Guitar goes on John's channel and now he's wearing a red top.
Can I just say on
the local team?
Go on, Annie.
Can I just say on Botman, a left-footed centre back who is comfortable on the ball, and as Chipper says, can split an opposition midfield like that is so ridiculously hard to find. Like one example I could think of is probably David Alaba, but and that would cost you probably what, north of 80 million. The fact that you've got him for less than what, 50 million or somewhere around there, I can't quite remember.
40.
Give or take, right?
Right.
Something like that.
Below 50. It's really, really good business, and at his age as well. He's just superb. I watched him. He's been brilliant. He just looks so comfortable on the ball. He's adapted to the Premier League, which I was a bit concerned about coming from Ligue 1, obviously. But the fact that I didn't. The fact is,
hey, you know what though, Annie? People diss the French league. It's not that bad, you know. I watch a lot of French football, and I quite like. I mean, PSG.
No, in terms of the physicality and the pace of this league.
Yeah, I mean,
in terms
PSG
of,
going out scoring 4, 5, 6 every game.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it was a bit of a rigmarole to get him in the end. You know, John Sinclair confident that he was going to his beloved Milan. It didn't happen. You know, we took a long time to get him, but now we've got him, and I think it's important that you know, he came in because of an injury, but that was always going to be the case, wasn't it? He was going to come in for an injury, and then he would never leave the side, because I think all along, Jack, you know, you look at them, and I think he's had a plan to go with Cher and Botman for the season anyway.
Yeah, which I'm not like discrediting Dan Burn, because he's been superb. He knows how to fight for the badge, but just because he knows how to fight for the badge does not mean you have to start him. He's done decent left back, but Shaw and Botman together have that composure, have that cool head on them in certain situations. Of course, Botman does have a very, very good cool head and very good composure on the ball. Can get rid, very good, and he's got experience as well for a young player. But I think having them two centre backs together just shows that we don't need to go and buy out bloody 80 million defenders and stuff just to play good and potentially get into Europe. Eddie Howe can build these players.
Yeah.
And it's good that we got Botman for about 34 million, because for me that's a bargain, in my opinion, for a player with that sort of caliber, and a player who's got so much potential to be one of Europe's best defenders.
Norfolk, I'm not sure what you're on about here. You've made the first step to a whole new world, Paul. Next, I'll convince you that Lee Harvey Oswald did not shoot JFK. What the hell have I said? I've no idea. Wacky said they should put managers like Gerbil Klopp in a perspex box every game, like Hannibal Lecter. Spike says, I live 200 miles away and I saw the push on Willock. Paul said it was a penalty all day long on Willock. 9 minutes extra time, tosses and Longstaff pulled back in the box a couple of weeks ago. Look, I mean, Willock, it should have been a goal. You know, you can't then sort of ball bounces in the net. You can't give a penalty. I mean, you know, what if we missed that penalty? The ball went in the net. You know, in the same passage of play. You cannot. It would just be ludicrous. But you know, we've seen it before, I guess. Steve says we all have these questions about the Palace game, and yet the officials still haven't faced the media, and they won't. Mary says VAR is as bad as Morden being announced as house leader. Oh, I'm not happy with that, I guess. Refs should be paid on performance related. It'd save the FA a fortune. Time taken is no issue if it leads to the correct call. So I'm not sure that's the issue here, especially when most VAR checks are done whilst player continues or out of play. I don't know, Paul. It's a bag of hammers, man. It's a bag of hammers. All right, Annie, I know you've got to shoot, mate. Thank you for coming on, and get yourself back on next week, bud.
Will do. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye, Annie.
Good night.
Yeah.
So that was Annie, and we welcome back Jimmy. Jimmy, your internet is bad as Sinclair. What the hell?
That's not me.
Get them beans up, Jimmy, if I was you.
Sorry.
Oh, let me ask you a question.
Go on then.
Hello.
Oh, he's there.
Okay, that's what was throwing me off, because I couldn't see my camera in the preview thing, and I didn't know. That's why I kept the avatar up. But I'm back, bitches.
Cool.
What's the question?
Oh, that was it. If you could see my camera.
All right, okay. Yeah. We can see you clearly. No problem.
You know, yeah.
Madrid are 3-0 now against Celtic.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Do you know what? It's going the way that many people predicted. I was on a Australian podcast at lunchtime, and they were saying that sometimes when Real Madrid play or Celtic play in these big sort of Champions League games, they always get an absolute spanking, which is certainly happening there tonight. Up the A1 says, if any of us made a mistake in our jobs that potentially could cause major upset in the end, we would be pulled over the coals. Clarky says you've got to play advantage and award the goal. Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Wacky says, I got booked playing against Dortmund's youth side for high boot while controlling the ball. No player within 8 yards of me, so I'm not a fan of continental refs. That is clear. But look, it's been and gone now. We have to look to West Ham. And Roy, West Ham Sunday, the chances are Bruno could be back. So it could be the Bruno Paqueta derby.
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm sure they're both going to be professional in the game. And
absolutely, yeah.
Especially Paqueta's the advanced one, so Bruno's got the harder job in that.
Well, they are going to clash, aren't they? Because Bruno's more defensive, Paqueta's more attacking. They are going to come together.
I'm hoping Sam Maximan's playing because it'll be the same again and wasting chances, and we're not going to have.
I'm hoping if Maxi doesn't play, I want to see Anderson in this time.
Yeah, that's a must.
Hope so.
Yeah, I mean, he came on after 70 minutes, and Chippers, what did you make of his performance?
Oh, he reminds me of when Foden came on the scene at Man City. For me, he's homegrown. He looks hungry, and I think what Eddie Howe's doing, he's doing what Pep did. He's not giving them too much too soon. He's keeping a tight rein on him, and I think he's doing it the right way. I think if you expose him too soon, people will be, I think expose him too soon is probably the worst thing to do. I think he's doing the right thing, easing him in, and then he'll just explode him onto it, like what he did with what Pep did with Foden. So, but yeah, if ESM isn't fit, I want to see Anderson on the left wing and not Ryan Fraser.
Interesting. I mean, look, we've got. I think when it comes to Sunday, we've got to be attacking. And this time we've got to take our chances. We can't miss many chances. We've got to take them because West Ham will punt. Who's gone there? Archer. Oh well, we're bringing the other North American, Ryan. Just like I was saying there, we've got to take our chances and convert them because it's going to be difficult. West Ham aren't a bad side, and they've got a lot of attacking options, which scares me a little bit, to be honest. I mean, Ryan, what do you think of the game on Sunday? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm excited because it's going to be two rattled teams that are coming up against each other with bad decision calls. So I think the game could be a bit heated.
Mm-hmm.
I expect a lot of goals, hopefully some good decision making.
Yeah,
and overall a win because I think we need one. And by the way, I've seen a few comments too, some comment in the chat today saying something about BBC Newcastle or Newcastle Radio saying something about we should be looking down. I mean, if there's any fan right now in our fan base that's thinking down, I'm sorry, you have to give your head a shake. I completely disagree.
Yeah, you're right.
If there's any fan, we're plus 1 goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
This defense is most indestructible that we've had in a while since probably Benitez.
And they're not taking the injuries into account, are they? We've got Wilson and Maxi out at the minute, which I know Maxi's only missed one game, but if we had a Maxi in that side on Saturday, we would have won the game. I'm under no illusion of it at all.
Last 2 games,
yeah, you lose one key player, it's okay. You could probably cope with it, but 2, it's hard, man. I think the golf
3 because Bruno was out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the long-term strategy for Eddie is to have. I think he's going to go with ASM, Wilson, and Isak when everybody's fit.
Yeah,
I just have a feeling, but we'll wait and see. Just a few more comments. C-Stock says, who is in charge of VAR on Sunday? That would be Paul Tierney, who was refereeing the Man United Arsenal game. Doesn't fill you with a lot of confidence. The referee is, of course, Craig Pawson, who was as much use as a chocolate fire guard. Ab says, Mason did not make a mistake. He chose to ignore the push, which is why he should be sacked. It's an interesting comment, that, Billy.
Yeah, he did. He did ignore it. Totally ignored it. And he's obviously seen it because we've all seen it on the angles we've seen. So for him to see it and then choose not to show it to the Salisbury on the pitch is It's criminal, really. You know,
because they know they can get away with it. That's why.
Well, I don't think they'll be able to get away with it now because they are going to be under so much scrutiny now to make sure that all angles are seen. Foxy says, I got booked for kicking the ball and it hit Steve Agrizovic in the face when playing for Coventry Youth.
Well, that'll explain his ugliness.
Yes.
That's why I look like stuff off the Goonies.
Now, let's behave. We're not shaming people on this show. Thank you very much. Paqueta hasn't met J7 yet. Anderson all day long, not Murphy.
Yeah.
Right. Jimmy, I'll let you start on this one. Miggy got yanked off again, obviously on Saturday when he was playing really well. Yet again for Jacob Murphy, who did absolutely nothing.
I mean, what else can you say about Murphy that hasn't already been said? It's time for him to make a move to MLS or something.
Yeah.
Send him to one of those Canadian teams. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do well in the Canadian Premier League, that's for sure.
He's not. I mean, he's not at that level.
But it's the sub, though, isn't it? It's the same change game after game. And Spencer, I don't know whether you've noticed it. It is Miggy for Murphy all the time, and it does your head in.
Yeah.
Same time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of going into the season. I was kind of looking. I was really giving Murphy a chance because he played well kind of towards the back end of last season. But now he's just like he's average. He'd be average in a championship team. Like in a mid, like if he were to play for, if he were to be a Borough, he'd be average there. Like he'd be an impact sub there. So like I don't even.
I mean, look,
he's a nice guy probably, but not for us.
Malcolm says it's either a competence problem or a corruption problem. It can't really be anything else. I'm leaning towards the latter. Haaland scoring for fun in the Champions League as well.
He scored 2 tonight.
Is Red Bull Leipzig getting an arse handed to him at home by Shakhtar Donetsk, which is a fantastic thing for the Ukrainian side with what's going on in Ukraine in the minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
21 shots.
I've got the Madrid Celtic game on, and it's a fun game to watch.
Well, I don't think John Sinclair will be too happy watching it tonight. Evening, John. Yeah, a big Celtic fan, as well as Man United. CS Stocks is a good shite, so we will be running uphill to get points. Paul says Paul Diaby in January would be awesome. Possibly. I'm not even going to talk about January now because we've just finished this window and it's done me head in as it is. So Paul says, has anyone else heard this Sanchez kid, a defense midfielder, another Brazilian? He's only 18 and valued at £35 million.
Yeah. That's also Barcelona coming after.
Yeah, Barcelona after as well.
Look, there is no point talking about transfers. There really isn't because it's not going to happen. January will open again, and then we'll get the usual stuff for a month, and then it'll go away again till the summer. It's just a rock and roller coaster. Julie J says, I do think there is a conspiracy against us. 1, to stop us progressing, and 2, the obvious reason, the new ownership. Jason says, we are shy of at least 6 points due to incompetent decisions. We should be 5th in the league. Who's the 2 we've lost there? Or the 2 Americans? Obviously having problems with the internet.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring in PD Proudlock. Good evening, Peter.
All right.
How are you doing?
Good.
Have you calmed down a bit since Saturday?
Yeah, I have a bit now, but I'm still raging over the ridiculous decision, I've got to admit still.
What do you think about Lee Mason just being taken out for a week?
To me, it's not enough. Yeah. I don't think that's enough. It's not a punishment, in my opinion, because he'll be back on it again after that.
Yeah. It is annoying. It is annoying. Jimmy, do you intend on staying with us a bit longer this time? What's going on with your bloody internet, man?
Look, fiber optic internet is the biggest scam since longer. I put it back on my regular 5G, and it never goes out. I mean, this is horseshit. I'm tired of this.
Come to Canada and try Rogers or Bell.
Stick with AT&T. is they give me free cable for the internet. Okay, but other than that, the company's a joke.
Did you say it's more dodgy than Wonga?
Yeah.
Cool. I thought you did. Murphy is obviously terrible, but we shouldn't be wishing him to get injured. That's too much. Absolutely. I don't want him injured.
The thing with Murphy is it's impossible to sell him because he's got such a big contract. You know, he's going to be, too expensive to buy.
Yeah. Unless one of the MLS teams takes him and thinks he's a world-class player like they do most of them that go over there, and then...
Well, do you guys see clips of... Do you guys see clips of Benteke's debut? Sorry.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
you missed always.
Jesus.
I didn't realize Benteke was over there.
He plays for DC now. I think Rooney's managing them, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to MLS.
Hater.
I saw Hernandez's ridiculous.
No,
Panenka. Yeah, he was on a hat trick as well, wasn't he?
That's a disrespect to the MLS. Right
oh my God!
I wish you'd get deported.
Behind the wall.
Yeah, behind the wall.
Trump.
Jesus, we don't want to start wars on this channel. We do not speak ill of other countries. I was just seeing if there was going to be a response there when I said that, but everyone stayed quiet. So,
yeah. My internet going or my phone going out.
I thought you were like sign over a comment or something.
No. I just, how we like to, not start global wars on this channel. We don't disrespect anybody.
Yeah, you definitely don't do that.
No. Even in China, even in France,
Costa Rica,
even Deutschland.
Hey, I have never.
Isle of Wight.
What if I disrespect the Isle of Wight? Not a different country, Billy.
You disrespected the Cook Islands.
Well, yes, because no, I didn't. No. See, Ryan, you're getting me wrong there. I didn't disrespect them. What I said was that when Roy's best mate Chris Wood is scoring goals for fun against them, it's just a bunch of chefs. That's what I said about the Cook Islands. And as for when the hell did that disrespect Costa Rica? By the way,
I remember saying something. You said something about cocaine farms, and they should just stick with that.
Paul Sales, you mentioned cocaine and Paul Sales. He just prick up like a meerkat. So what deals to be made? Where? Tell us, and I'll send the speed.
Sales. At least you got a shirt on tonight.
Shirt on.
No, you haven't.
Leave Costa Rica alone.
Earlier. Literally.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The dog joy.
Yeah. That was no dog toy.
It's a Ben's toy.
Stop showing that.
That was not what came on the screen. It was.
Jesus.
No, that wasn't it.
It had a lot wider girth than that. I'm telling you.
Wasn't that?
No, it wasn't
that way.
Take that off the camera.
It was twitching like a rabbit's nose, mate. Put it that way.
I had a vein on it.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, it had a very, very girthy vein going right up the middle of it as well. I thought, what the hell is that?
It wasn't that. So dildos.
Julie says a message from the Mods family. Thomas has taken some time away from the channel in a mod capacity. Lots going on in RL. Real life, yeah. And it needs his focus. He will pop in and say hi. Please show him some love indeed. He's always welcome on this channel, Thomas is, and he will be welcome back as a mod when he feels able to, undoubtedly. But we will miss him for now. Paul Tully says, Bella completely corrupt. Canada has less open competition compared to the UK, sadly, so the big companies have a monopoly. What the hell are we doing on a fan forum talking about bloody French-Canadian crap? Honestly, Jesus Christ. Tom believes Tom Lynch should have been sacked. I mean, Lee Mitchell, not Tom Lynch. I've had a story there, a Eureka story. Wow. That's because I'm put off by a giant throbbing knob earlier on. Mackie says, imagine a decision like the last game of the season, top two joint on points, playing each other for the title, or two teams fighting to stay up. There would be bedlam. Absolutely, they would. See, nothing like this happens on the channel, Paul, until you come on. We bloody drug dealing. I mean, honestly,
what do you mean,
Billy? I reckon he must have had a few snorts before he came on to get an erection like that.
I've never seen a better erection than that since Nelson Column got put up.
My goodness me! I tell you what. Jeez, it was looked like it was going to burst. Jim says the injury comment I meant if he was out injured, how would you use different option and realize how bad he is? Not wishing bad on the guy. Yeah, indeed. Steve says if Lee Mason ever officiates in one of our matches, he gets constant abuse. I'm sure that will undoubtedly happen. Steve just says hashtag France. Okay. Bonjour. Spencer says big up everyone on the chat and the panel. Ratchet says good evening Pakistan. I said he was from India, didn't I? Jesus Christ.
He's got an Indian flag there, so I think
he's got an Indian flag on.
Pakistan's green with like a half moon or something, right? Green and white.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know where we're going here, right? He's got an Indian flag. That's why I said India. And he's telling me good evening Pakistan.
We never mentioned Pakistan in the fan forum.
Or have India beaten Pakistan in the cricket or something, Billy? Is he having a... What is Barbara holding up the camera?
That's Chucky.
Okay.
What is going on?
I don't think they're playing much cricket in Pakistan at the minute. They're underwater, aren't they?
That's Freddie Mercury. He'll know.
He was from India. Yeah, he was from India. And Cliff Richard.
But Freddie Mercury's not here anymore.
He's from Zanzibar.
Oh, he's Zanzibar.
Where?
He died in 1992.
1991.
The show must go on, Paul. The show must go on.
Alive.
Listen, I'm a big Queen fan.
So was 91.
So am I.
Look, anyway, it's a football bloody show.
No, it's a conspiracy theory show.
Anyway, we've got a few minutes left, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the
1991, Paul.
Jack, do you want to shut your face?
Got it right, yeah.
I knew there'd be some clever shite. Go on the internet and have a look.
24th of November, 1991.
Thank you very much.
Right, Susan, really, is all I'll say. Text message saying Pakistan is in India. With laughing emojis. So I don't know whether she's actually being serious or whether she's just joking on. But
I don't know the context of any of this.
Mark, can you not hear it in the background? Yes, it's Paul Sales is sitting on it. Right. It is time for we are going to make some predictions now. Paul Sales, you can go first. Result against West Ham and the scorers.
2-0. Isaac and Maxi.
Who's Isaac? I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. It's Isak, you plum.
Isak. What Isak then?
Right. And who else?
Maxi. Go and say who's he.
I want to tell you a story. Oh, that's Maxi Bygraves, isn't it?
Nobody will remember him on this panel. I guarantee it.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Paul. You getting yourself on next week, or are you're offshore?
No, I'll be on next week.
Yeah, nice one.
Fish himself off now.
Well,
I'll drop some stuff off for you.
I just make sure you don't you're not pumped in the shop tonight or anything with that throbbing thing you've got.
Bring your camping chair to St. James's next time.
Yeah. See you later, buddy. You enjoy yourself for the rest of the night. Yes, I'm sure you will. Good night.
I think you will.
Yeah.
That guy's quality, though. I love him.
He is. Stiff Gator says throbbing hood. It's got a bit mad the last 20 minutes of this. Jesus. Jason says that Pakistan being an India comment could cause an international conflict. Indeed, I don't think Susan realizes how much they hate each other. So
they both have nukes as well.
Yes. Let's quickly finish this show before we do start a war. Actually, Ratchet says Pakistan was part of India, yes, before England ruled us. Let's move on. Barbara, prediction for West Ham and the scorers, please.
Well, I wasn't very impressed with Paqueta and West Ham's on his debut. I wasn't too impressed with him at all. If we have a full team, I'd say we'll beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
And Isaac and...
Who?
Isaac and...
Who?
Isaac, sorry.
Isak.
Oh, we all know what you mean. Stop correcting her.
Isak and Bruno will be playing.
Quiet. Nothing wrong. In the name of Stato, who corrects me every time I get a name wrong, Isaac, I will correct everybody else.
If Isaac and Maxi are playing, we win handy, I'd say 2-1. And if not, it'll be a draw 1-0.
Right, brilliant. Right,
and Isaac can score and Maxi can score.
Nice one. Nice. Barbara, it's fantastic that you've got through a full show. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. So well done. We'll speak to you soon, Barbara. You take care.
Sad part is you probably see more of me now.
It's fine. Listen, you got through your first ever show full on, so well done. And we'll see you next week. Good night. Good night.
Good night, Barbara.
Jimmy's just in the dark. I don't know whether he's there or he's not. Are you there, Jimmy?
Gone to bed, turn lights out.
No, he's had a power cut. Right. Chippers. Oh, hang on a minute. Susan says that she asked Siri. Really, Suze?
There's an excuse now, like.
So you're blaming Siri for you starting a war between, the two countries. I don't think that'll go down well in the International Court of Law. But listen, it is what it is. Mrs. Toon Review, you should have asked Sari, not Siri. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear. Jesus. Right, Chippers, score for West Ham.
I'm going down for 1-1 draw.
Okay.
And I think Isak will score a goal.
Is that it? That's your prediction?
Yeah, 1-1 draw with Isak scoring out a goal, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll give you praise for getting the name right, mate. So well done. Right, thanks for coming on, Chippers. We'll catch you next time, buddy.
Cheers, Sam.
Good night.
See ya.
Right, who are we going to go for next? Jack. Seattle Geordie says, that is like saying Sunderland is in Newcastle. Yes. But, Susan's famous for starting, wars and all sorts of stuff. So, she's just continuing our rule tonight. Come on then, Jack.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Newcastle.
And the scorers?
Scorers are going to be Almiron, I think he deserves the goal, and Isak.
Isak again. Right. Nice one. Right. Thanks for coming on, Jack. Catch you next week, buddy. Take care. Good night.
Bye.
Jimmy.
Yeah, you better get to me before this shit goes out.
Go for it, man.
2-1.
Yeah.
Newcastle. Goals by Isak and Shaw.
Okay. Right.
And hopefully, I'll be nervous as hell until I see Bruno put the first tackle in on Paqueta. And then if he does, then I know we got a game.
Hopefully so. Listen, Jimmy, thanks for coming on. Thanks for battling through your internet problems, and we'll catch you next time, brother.
All right.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.
Stay well. Good night.
See ya.
So that was Jimmy, as usual. Very, very vocal in his opinions, which we love on this channel. Mr. Proudlock.
I'm going to say a 2-1 win. I think we can get it West Ham. I think we've got a good record down there as well. And I'm going to say if we get our players back fit, like Maxi and Bruno, I think we can definitely at least pick up something down there. Then I'm going to say 2-1 Newcastle, as I mentioned. I'm going to go for Isak and Miggy to get the goals as well.
Isak and Miggy again. I really hope Miggy does get one, actually, because he deserves it.
He needs to play a lot longer because I'm sick of this like-for-like substitution by Eddie Howe.
Yeah. I think everybody is. It needs to change, and it needs to change quickly, to be honest. And hopefully Miggy can get a good 90 minutes, but we'll see.
Murphy should be anywhere near the other side at the moment.
Absolutely. Totally agree. But unfortunately, Eddie sees him. I mean, he must see something different in training. That's all I can think about. He must see something completely different than what we do. But
Maybe,
again, in Eddie we trust, as we keep saying. But thanks for coming on, Pete.
No
We'll
problem.
see you soon, buddy.
See you later.
Good night, mate. Right, Ryan.
2-1 Newcastle.
And the scorers?
I'm going with Isak and my twin brother, Almiron.
Twin eyebrows.
Oh, I know. That's why your own Wi-Fi never goes off, because your eyebrows get satellite.
I think for West Ham, Fornals will score.
Yeah, he's a good player, him. Right, thanks for coming on, Ryan, and we'll catch you next week, buddy.
See you, mate.
Yep.
Good night, mate. Right. Come on then, Middle Eastern correspondent. Let's have it in your red and white shirt.
I'm worried, but I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going 1-1 Isak as well.
That's optimistic.
Yeah. I heard for some of my mates said they were really good against Chelsea, so they're playing at home.
But we've been really good all season.
Yeah, but we can't score. If Bruno and Maxi start, then I'll be more optimistic. But if we see Fraser again and not Anderson, and then Eddie Howard taking Miggy off again.
Samsonite says 0-0. Isak to score a hat-trick, but all ruled out by VAR.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other worrying thing is, who's the FA gonna give a gift to? Because both teams have got fucked on the weekend.
Well, you know what? Stiff Gator says, if you ate this man's happiness, you'd starve. That ain't optimism, my son. The one thing that we do have, let's remember, is that West Ham are playing in the Europa League this week. So, depending on what team they put out, fatigue could come into it later on in the game. But the problem is, the way our bench looks like, we haven't really got any game changers apart from Elliot Anderson, who can come on and change a game. So we'll just wait. But listen, Roy, thank you very much for coming on. Are you
Cheers, mate.
scheduled to moonlight on anybody else's channel that you need to tell us about?
I have no idea yet.
Oh,
Let's see what happens.
Right. Thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll speak soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Billy.
Yeah, buddy.
Good night.
See you guys.
Oh, I love Roy. He's like that. He's just class. He is. He's just a lovely bloke. And his wife's even nicer because she actually invites you out there. Other than that,
he's part of the furniture now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he is. Yeah, he is. He's definitely part of the furniture. But like I say, his wife actually invites you out there, though, Billy. That's different. You know what I mean?
Did, yeah. I remember that.
He is our Middle Eastern correspondent, I should say, and he is part of the Toon Review, and he's a big part of us. So we love him. Apart from when he buggers off on other channels without permission, but that's Roy. He's just a moonlighter, isn't he? He's just one of those suave moonlighters, Billy. That's what he is. Right. I'm going to keep going for 5 more minutes because Billy's going to do a watch along tomorrow night on one of the Champions League games. Now, we don't normally do this, but we're branching out a bit this season. We want to cover some more football. So instead of just covering Newcastle, we're going to cover the Champions League, etc. So I want you in the comments now to put what game you'd like Billy to do. Now, the fixtures are on the internet. If you want to quickly go on to Google and look for tomorrow's fixtures and put in the comments what game you'd like Billy to do the watch along on. And the one with the most in the comments will be the one that Billy does. I know Rangers are playing at Ajax, but we have to do, it'll be one of the later games, though, won't it, Billy? So,
yeah, Napoli, Liverpool also.
Yeah, Napoli, Liverpool play tomorrow. But hang on, I need to check. I best just check up the times, Billy, because it won't be an early watch along. It'll be one of the later games.
Spurs are playing as well. I can't remember where they're playing, but Spurs are playing.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Right. Ajax Rangers is an early game, so that's 5:45, Billy. That's too early for you, isn't it? By the time you get it from work and sorted, yeah. So it'll be one of the 8 o'clock games. So you've got Atletico Madrid against Porto, Barcelona against Plzen, Bruges against Leverkusen, Inter against Bayern, which could be a good game, or you've got Napoli, Liverpool, Spurs, Marseille. So get putting in the comments and we'll have a look. Inter Bayern's there. Love to see Liverpool get beat. Liverpool, Inter Bayern. Carlos is getting. Billy can't wait. We're not putting Rangers, Geordie, unfortunately, because they're early kick-off and Billy's got to get him from work and sort himself out. Why would anybody put Bruges, Leverkusen? Samsonite, you've had a story.
He might, yeah, but I think he might be Belgium, won't he, or German? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
He's Danish, isn't he?
Yes. Spurs, Marseille coming in. The mighty Spurs. I don't think we should do Liverpool, Napoli on. I don't think we should give them any more time, Billy. To be honest.
No. But they might get a good audience, so it might be worth doing.
Well, they might. There's a lot of Spurs Marseille votes going in as well. People are saying they can't stomach watching Liverpool. What is the best way to contact the Toon Review to have a word about doing something for charity? Just on email, Basil Brush. Thank you very much. The email address is linked at the bottom of the description. Thank you for your £1.79 super chat as well. Into Bayern's getting a lot of votes, Billy.
Yeah, the one that's hardest to commentate on, bastards.
It'll test you, Billy. I think that'll probably be the best game out the lot, you know.
Oh, you fucking know. I knew you'd say that then.
Well,
it'll be easier than Bruges and Leverkusen, to be fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of difficult names, Billy, but I'm sure you can get through it. Yeah, it's gonna be into Bayern, mate.
Okay.
Oh no, hang on. Should we do a poll?
Yeah, there's a lot of Spurs Marseille as well.
Yeah, we'll do a poll. I think that's the fairest way of doing it. So you bear with us 1 second. We'll get a poll up for 5 minutes, and then Paul Seals has probably still got a poll up, to be honest. Just unbelievable. Right. Champions League watch along. Right, which games are we going for? Inter Bayern?
Yeah.
Napoli, Liverpool. Who else is there?
Spurs Marseille.
Spurs Marseille. That's the three, isn't it, that have had the most? So
yeah,
do that. Right, the poll is now up. So get yourselves on there. Get yourselves voting. It is pinned at the top of the live comments. So we've got 5 minutes of that poll up and running in the chat now. So get in the chat, get up to the top of the chats and vote. And then we'll give that 5 minutes. I mean, talking about the Champions League, Billy, I mean, obviously Celtic are getting hammered tonight. Scottish clubs find it very difficult for some reason in the Champions League. I mean, Rangers, I know they got thumped on Sunday Saturday in the derby, but they seem to have battled through the qualifiers. They've been goals down and then they've managed to spring back. So how do you think they'll do against Ajax, considering Ajax are pretty much depleted after losing the manager and about 4 or 5 players?
Well, the past 2 years, last season and beginning this season, Rangers' form in Europe's been exemplary, hasn't it? So you wouldn't put it past Rangers to get a result there. They've just beat PSV last round. So, yeah, I wouldn't be kind of surprised if Rangers got a result at Ajax. Wouldn't be surprised at all if they went there and won. Not at all. But that's the potential of going the other way also. I mean, Rangers can either be great or awful. But Van Bronckhorst seems to have a good European record with Rangers. So, yeah, I'd say they've got a very good chance of getting something out of the result.
Right, we've got 2 more minutes left of the poll, and then we'll see who Billy is doing a watch along on. I think it'd be quite good to do a commentary on the Champions League. Just give us practice for the future, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're there, But
indeed.
Look, people love the football, and I think it's. There's been a lot of requests for us to start doing this kind of thing about doing watch-alongs on other games and things like that, just to keep the football going, because people love listening to the channel, etc., and they want the fill. So we will have to keep filling them, Billy.
Indeed.
Toon Pauls has just hijacked it by saying Nick Pope. Yeah. Right. We're coming to. Let's have a look. Right, 1 more minute to go. We've had over 100 votes, so
really,
yeah. which is brilliant. So it just proves people do want to watch along, and they'll be happy. Of course, they can watch it on the TV and just knock the commentary off, Billy, like they do for Newcastle games, and watch it along with you and listen to your commentary.
That's kind of that's the aim. Can't be worse than Darren Fletcher and Stephen Manaman and all them dickheads, can't they? Can they? And Malcolm's asking for a nice a bit of a
Who?
Malcolm. Yeah, in the chat.
Can Billy do a watch along for the 2023 AFC Asian Cup? Billy trying to pronounce the names would be comedy gold. Yeah. Ryan says, this is it. As much as I love NUFC, I'm also a football lover. Yeah, a lot of people are, which is why we've decided to do this. So there you go. Right. Let's close the poll. And, oops. There it is. Right. The game you will be commentating on, Mr. Billy Bob Coleman, is Inter versus Bayern, who had 46% of the votes. Spurs Marseille had 32%, and Napoli Liverpool only 21%. So, right, that's it. Then Billy will be doing a watch along. That kicks off at 8 o'clock. So, what time do you want to start the show, Billy? 7:45?
Yeah, we'll start 7:45.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Billy will be live from 7:45 tomorrow night with the commentary of Inter versus Bayern, and I should be tuning into that just to see how he gets on with the names. I know what you're going to do as soon as you come in from work tomorrow. You're going on the internet and Googling the teams just so you can get practicing on the names.
100%. 100%.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching tonight. Thank you to everybody that super chatted, become new members. And of course, thank you very much to the fan forum panel again for a great show. Always brilliant to get the views of all the fans. And thank you to everybody that's viewed. If you have enjoyed the show, please don't forget to hit the like button before you head off. And also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen, don't forget to please hit that subscribe button. It is completely free to do so. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload. I am going to be bringing videos out during the day on a more consistent basis now for Newcastle news, no matter what it is, just to keep you updated on everything Newcastle United. But that's it. Tomorrow night, of course, 7:45, join Billy for Inter versus Bayern live commentary. And Thursday night, 8 o'clock, will be, of course, the Newcastle West Ham preview. We will have Alex and Danielle back for that one. So really looking forward to it. But in the meantime, guys, good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Well, Billy Bob will.
How well
See you later.
that's it.